Hello, my name is Dan Ackers and I write The Adaptive Human. A little over a week ago, I wrote a piece called Some Decisions Don't Look Brave. That topic stuck with me a little longer than the usual piece I've written has. I think it's because my relationship with the idea of bravery has changed quite a lot as I've gotten older. I'm not sure if I've noticed that change while it was happening. While younger, bravery was really easy for me to define. Most of us probably remember the Braveheart movie and Mel Gibson's famous line, "They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom." I don't think I could be that brave, but the image still stuck with me. And now that I'm older, I can also see that is only one form of bravery. Sure, it might be the most visual and obvious one, but it's still only one form. Because at its core, bravery is still about doing something despite fear, despite being afraid. In other parts of my life, I felt like I've been brave as well. One example would be when I wanted to reconnect with my mother, and I did feel quite scared to do that. Then there was when I decided to move to another city to study, because yes, I wanted to move to another city to experience something new, but I was a little bit afraid of what everything would change. Or when I called companies to ask for sponsorships while I was still a student. Or when I started a project without really knowing what I was doing, or choosing to propose to my wife, or to get kids. All of these are one form of bravery. In Finnish, we also have a saying, stupid brave. Roughly, it means that it's a brave decision to do that, but it's still a stupid decision no matter how you look at it. The easiest examples is that I've made a few financial investments that haven't panned out. Looking at them from the outside, I'm sure someone could call it stupid brave. In hindsight, I do. Regardless, when facing with the choice to be brave, what often happens to me is I feel butterflies in my belly, then my pulse goes up a few notches, and then I make the decision. Once I'm over the initial hurdle, it usually feels easier. Yeah, I do overthink some things before, and I remember multiple times that due to overthinking, I have talked myself out of doing something. I'm not sure every time I've talked myself out of doing something has been a good thing though. There's probably quite a few opportunities I could have gone for, but somehow managed to talk myself out of it. Oh well, life happens. But still, I think choosing to put yourself out there, pretty much in any form, is still real bravery. Regardless of if it's the flashiest Braveheart moment, or just facing other human beings and standing up for your ideas. But as I outlined in the piece, recently I've come to think that there might be some other, more important forms of bravery that barely looks like anything. Sometimes they don't even feel brave. Sometimes they're just quiet. Like a slow realization that you no longer want something that you worked hard to become. Because when you're younger, life often teaches you that competence is supposed to feel meaningful. That if you're good at something, or if people respect you for it, then surely you should keep doing that, right? I don't think competence and alignment necessarily go hand in hand. But that realization confused me for quite a while, because there are multiple things that I became relatively good at fairly quickly, Some even called me natural at them, like sales, leadership, running projects, certain social roles, etc. Externally, these all looked very positive, and I was encouraged to continue. People respected me for doing them. But I remember internally I noticed myself emotionally pulling away long before I consciously admitted it to myself. I think the hardest thing about that experience was that there wasn't really any dramatic moment attached to it. No disaster, collapse, or other obvious failure. Everything made sense on paper. Which means also that there's no easy socially acceptable explanation for why part of you wants to leave. And knowing what I know now, I think it takes a different kind of courage to sit honestly with that feeling. Especially when other people still admire the version of you that you're internally starting to outgrow. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, because I haven't spoken that much to other people I know about my budding writing career. Yes, some people some people I know about it, but there's plenty more that don't. And how I would want this writing career to replace my current one. Yet I still keep receiving praise and compliments for my current role, but it feels quite emotionally distant inside of me. It creates this strange disconnect where part of me still appreciates the praise. I mean, obviously it feels nice to be praised for it, but then another part already knows that I don't want to keep becoming this version of myself. I don't think people talk about that experience enough. The moment when external success and internal movement stop matching each other. Maybe that's why bravery has become so much harder for me to define now. Some life-changing moments don't look cinematic at all, like sometimes they're just a random Tuesday, or they are a growing feeling that you can't really explain. It can also be that you just admit to yourself that I don't know anymore. Or acknowledging or admitting to yourself that you no longer want to become the person that your current path is shaping you into. I don't think I understood before how many important decisions in life happen internally first, long before anything changes on the outside. And maybe that's why some of the bravest moments in life barely look like anything while they're happening. Anyway, these are some thoughts that stayed with me after writing that piece. Thank you for listening to The Adaptive Human. The original essay is linked below if you'd like to read it as well. See you next time.